The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Here I am. Welcome to the podcast. It's Nikki Glaser Podcast. God, I hope you don't have this on 2 times the speed because that would have been unintelligible. I'm Nikki Glaser. This is the podcast live, not to you, but I mean, I think actually this is a couple days before you're hearing it. Maybe 3 days. What got on your shirt?
I don't know. I'm so sad. It's a brand new shirt.
Yeah, that's bullshit. I got actually I got like a wipe in my bag actually that you can use to get stains out. What's the smell? He's smelling his shirt. He's figuring it out. Chris Convy's here, everyone. There's no smell. It smells like a new shirt.
Smellless new shirt.
Smellless stain. Chris Convy's here. We are in our hotel room in Zurich. This is day. God, I don't know. Day
for you.
I don't know what day this is for me. And on vacation, when you're in Europe, there's no dates. There's no days. It's
must be nice.
Must be nice. Must be nice. That's a part of my act.
Must be nice.
It's like when people, whenever I
and it's about what you're doing.
Totally.
Yeah.
Whenever I talk about going to see Taylor, I have a joke about when I mention I see Taylor Swift or I post about it like on a main post feed.
There we go.
I get comments, or I have gotten comments that are like, must be nice. And I don't really know what to do with that. But let's talk about Zurich. We're in Zurich. I was in Amsterdam, and I've also been in Dublin with my family on this journey to see Taylor Swift 5 times in
10 days?
10 days, I think.
Is it 10 or is it like 12, 11?
It was Dublin on a Sunday, Amsterdam Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Zurich on Tuesday. So whatever that's 9 days, baby.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
That's a lot of Taylor.
You would think. So I've seen Taylor 4 times at this point.
So how's it going? Because my question was, every time you've ever seen Taylor, it's either been maybe 1 or 2 nights in a row, right?
Yeah.
And then those are weeks apart usually.
Totally.
And with a variety of people, different friends and different things. And was this your first 3-night stint in a row?
This was, yes.
The Amsterdam shows.
Yeah, this was the first time seeing 3 in a row. Like, I've never done all 3 shows that she's been in a city.
So there's not a single thing in the world that I love as much as you love Taylor Swift. Maybe my mom. But I can't do 3 nights in a row with my mom.
Oh, right. That's a...
No, I definitely can. But
well, if she's as talented as Taylor.
3 nights in a row of a 3.5-hour concert.
Yeah.
That seems...
I want to say that after Dublin, I was so excited before Dublin because the last time I saw her was in Sydney with you in February. Yeah. End of February.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it had been a while and I was just chomping at the bit. I was so excited. It had been a while. It was the band Stained, and I thought, I'm so excited. Dublin, there was an energy to the city. Like, you get to these cities and they just are, there's pink everywhere and sparkles, and storefronts are saying things about being Taylor Swift is in different window displays. It's just everywhere, and there's just a vibe, and it was very exciting. And we were in Dublin for, I think, we got to Dublin and we were going to Taylor Swift that night. So we were a little jet lagged. We slept all day. We went to Taylor that night. It was amazing. It was outdoor. It was just incredible energy. And then we went to Amsterdam, 3 days later, and I was ready to go again. So ready to go again. Because I like doubling up. So I was used to Dublin, but not in Dublin, right?
Yes.
So I singled in Dublin.
Yeah.
And so then when we went to Amsterdam, I will say the vibe the first night of the first Amsterdam show, the crowd was off. It was just, my mom also sensed it. It wasn't just me. And it was just like, it wasn't as enthusiastic, and I don't know why.
When was the last podcast? So is this the first podcast since 4th of July, since you've left for this trip? So
I mean, there's been new podcasts out, but we were pre-recorded them.
So what's going on right now?
I did one podcast, actually.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Okay, so people are caught up on what's happening and what you're doing.
Yes.
Who you're with.
With my parents.
How's it going?
And my dad and mom went to the first one. I don't think that...
Oh, and then your dad went...
he went to Dublin.
He went to Dublin, but then... He had a big video.
Cried. Yeah, he went viral.
That's what.
Because I filmed him during the part of the show where Taylor. So after she sings Champagne Problems, that's kind of the space in the show where the crowd decides to just show her how much we love her by applauding for as long as we possibly can. And we could really go longer. She controls it because it's just, she kind of decides when to talk because we would go for hours.
What kind of face does she make?
she makes all different faces. She's excited. She's shocked. I mean, there's only so many faces you can make when you're overwhelmed by how loud something is and how much love people are pouring at you.
Yeah.
And it's so, I know that people maybe think like, oh, she's just like phoning it in, or this doesn't really feel this way to her. She can't be surprised every time. And I'm sure that there's a part of her that's like getting used to it, but I don't know that you ever really get used to 66,000 people screaming bloody murder for you and losing their minds. And I will say I've been to now 17 or shows or something like that. And every single time it's different. Like the crowds will top each other. There will be a surge of energy at different points.
Like in Australia, it's like they agreed to do something. Like during a song, it's like everybody agreed to do something specific.
That's another thing that happens. And we'll get to that in a second. But there's, different chants that people say and stuff. But during this part, like it's about a 5-minute window where the crowd just screams and she's just standing there and she's kind of just taking it in. Then she takes out her earpiece, that's like her in-ear, I guess is what they're called.
Monitor,
and then she hears it really and then she goes, Jesus Christ. And then we go crazy again. And then it lasts another couple minutes. So my dad during this became very moved.
And this is after what song?
This is after Champagne Problem. So this is, that used to be fairly early in her set, and now it goes about probably a third of the way through is when it happens.
And is it crazy? How does Champagne Problems go? Just a little snippet.
Your Midas touch on a Chevy door, November flush and your flannel cure. This dorm was once a madhouse. You made a joke and it's made for me. How evergreen, our group of friends. Don't think I'll say that word again. And soon they'll duck the halls. Okay, you get it. Anyway, it's really fun because she talks about how right before she sings that song, she says that during COVID, she really didn't know if she was ever going to tour again. It's a thing she's been doing since she was 12 or 13. And she's like, it's just a bummer. This is my favorite thing to do. And when I was writing during COVID, I wrote this song and I thought I really want to sing this song with everyone. And so she was like, I hope you'll sing along with me to Champagne Problem. So this was the song that she wrote thinking, oh, this would be fun to sing in an arena. Because there's this line where she goes, it's a shame she's fucked in the head, they said. And she always looks at the camera and goes like, fucked. And like her eyes get super crazy because she's talking about how
she's being deranged.
Yeah, like how this family thinks she's deranged because she didn't accept her boyfriend's proposal or whatever it is in the song. So anyway, afterwards, my dad is like crying. He gets like teary-eyed and my dad gets emotional during certain things, like he gets misty-eyed a lot. Now he's saying he's doing it more because he's an old man, but he was just like it is such a moving moment because all these people are just like so insanely happy that they're just cheering for an extended amount of time, and she's just like so gracious. And I think that, and he also said, I don't think that it kind of reminded him of me in a way, because I told him to tell me that. And so it was nice that he took me up on that and heard me and presented it in a way that didn't sound exactly like what I told him to say. So it sounded original when he said it. And no, but it was just really sweet. And so I filmed it. And so now I have like a presence on TikTok. And I didn't have one before because I didn't have anyone, there had been companies before that there had been a company before that I had hired to run my social media. I didn't engage with them in the way that I needed to in order for them to really facilitate the change that needed to happen in my life.
But this new company's got a girl.
That is just like, I don't know. I just trust her. And not that the other company didn't, but this one.
She's broken through.
She's broken. She's a broken woman, just like my mom.
Just like your mom.
Her name's Emily. She's incredible. And I remember when we did the first Zoom call with these people. And I know you're like, Nikki, why don't you run your own social media? Or maybe you're thinking that. And it's just because I don't really like reading comments. I don't like to engage too much with it. I think most listeners know this at this point.
But you do run your social media in the sense that like the stories and some of the posts.
Yeah, all the stories, all my Instagram stories
But
are
it's
mine.
just to try to do things where it's like tour dates and like getting involved in a few other types of things that it might be interesting.
Yeah, what she's really doing, so I will give her content and then she edits it and makes it look appropriate for TikTok.
Yes. Yeah.
So anything you see me posting on Instagram story, I'm always in charge of that. She is not doing that at all. Any thing she posts on my main feed, I control that too. I write all the captions, everything like that. She just posts she's really just running my TikTok, and this girl is running it. I don't even know how many, let me just look how many followers I have. I did not have this. I don't remember how many followers. I have 211,000 followers.
And you basically just have
started posting a lot in the last couple weeks.
That's great.
And she is posting. So on TikTok, I didn't realize this. I mean, I guess I did. It's just like more freeform stuff. It doesn't have to look as polished. It's more just talking to the camera. Like it's just a world where you can be kind of more yourself, I guess, and less like I'm a celebrity or like everything has to look perfect. It can just be not sloppier, but just more rough and authentic.
Okay. I thought it was just like dances.
I did too, because I'm not on there. But this is what I'm hearing from the youngins.
Yeah.
And she's a youngin. She's so cute. Emily, if you're listening to this, every time I'll write
She's too
something
busy
to
making
her.
TikToks. She's not listening to this.
She's such a hard worker. She is like, she tells me about trends. This is always what I wanted. I just wanted someone to tell me like, hey, there's this trend going on, do it.
Right, yeah.
So she, whenever she texts me though, I'll be like making her laugh by saying something about something because we have like a friendship. And she goes, I'm screaming.
Yeah, here's the key is you haven't wanted to do stuff like this because you like your TikTok and your Instagram and you're having fun with it. You haven't been interested in TikTok, but she's made it fun for you.
She's made it fun and
easy.
She's made me feel cool doing it, and I'm not like a loser. Like I trust her to be cool and just efficient. And she's worked with really amazing celebrities that
like
I really
Celine
respect. Dion? I wasn't supposed to say.
Okay. Oh yeah. You signed an NDA.
She was with her when she had loose person syndrome. Poor Celine Dion's illness is the worst.
What is it?
Stiff person syndrome.
Oh yeah.
It's a bad name.
It's a bad name.
I was trying to look up like the worst sounding syndromes, and this is.
Give me a few of them.
Okay, so that's funny because I googled like the worst sounding syndromes or the diseases with the worst names. Okay, it's werewolf syndrome. That's where you get like hair growth on your face. Facial blindness, which is the thing Brad Pitt claims to have, where you can't recognize people. But that's really just being a celebrity and being like, I meet too many people and I want an excuse for why I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember you. You're not important.
Sleeping Beauty syndrome, also known as Klein-Levin.
That's not bad sounding.
Like an unconscious princess, people with this neurological condition called Sleeping Beauty syndrome experience periods of excessive sleep. Okay, got it.
Sounds like a gift.
Mad cow disease. Oh yeah, bad one.
Oh, hand and foot.
Oh, foot and mouth.
Foot and mouth? No.
Trench foot.
What? It's hand and foot disease.
Alien hand syndrome.
Oh, I just read about this the other day. Something happens in your brain and something gets kind of divided or severed, right? And so your hand almost has a mind of its own, and it can choke you. It can like while you're asleep.
How do I get that?
It can write like a whole thing that you're not even thinking of. It'll just write something.
Whoa, that would be nuts.
Yeah, the hand will just do things.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That takes masturbation to a whole new level because you wouldn't feel it. It's like when people sit on their hands to make them numb to get called the stranger.
It's called the stranger.
It was maybe one of the first jokes I heard where I was like, "That's brilliant." Like I heard that I think in middle school, and I was like, "That's so funny." There's Stone Man's disease. So these are all really bad. And then look at this one. So all these are. Horrible.
Everybody at a fish show's got that. Am I right? Sorry. Though.
Stone Man's disease is a disorder of the connective tissue where ligaments, tendons, or skeletal muscles essentially turn into bone. So these are horrible diseases. And then look at this one. This is such a funny disease to put on this list. Oh. Imposter syndrome. That's where you're really good at something, but you don't feel like you're really good at it. It's almost as bad as Stone Man disease, where all of your muscle turns to cartilage.
I'm sure you've mentioned that you have imposter syndrome like 1,000 times.
A million times. And then there's also, and then right after imposter syndrome, walking corpse syndrome. Okay, well, I don't think one of those is like the other. However, I was not making light of Celine Dion's thing. I was just saying that it's just an awful name for it, and I'm really sad for her. And
She's got a great social media presence because of Emily.
Exactly. Well, Emily really brought her. That's not true, but it feels true. But she is, but Emily's so good. So I'll just send her a video and I'll be like, is this TikTok-y? Like, it'll just be me. I kind of just shoot some stuff and I'm like, is this good? And she's like, oh my God, screaming. And that's how Gen Z laughs. I go, are you really screaming? She's like, dead, screaming. It's so funny. I'm like, you sound like you have Stone Man syndrome. You're dead and screaming at the same time.
Yeah, it's like, did you just see somebody with walking corpse syndrome? That's terrifying.
She so the other night, so anyway, I sent her my video of my dad, and I was like, someone told me, I posted on my story first. Then I got a DM from someone saying this would kill on TikTok. It was just some fan. And I sent it to Emily, which I had not done yet. And obviously Emily would have been like, yes, let's put this on TikTok. But I sent it to her and she was like, oh, hell yeah. So then we wake up the next morning because we're on a different time zone. And my dad has gone semi-viral for crying. Mm-hmm. And my dad has since scoured the comments, and his friends have too, and sent him the funniest, like, mean things.
Oh, really? What are some of them? Do
one
you know?
Of them said, like, fucking pussy or something like that. And then another one said he's crying because he's wasting what few years he has left at a Taylor Swift concert. So we've been like laughing at, and my parents are so cool about it because
few years he has left is so funny.
Because not only did my dad go viral with that, and like it's like a really sweet thing that people are sending, and I'm getting tons of messages about how it made people cry, that he cried, because it's just so sweet. And I wasn't exploiting him. Like I really was in the moment, just like, I just want to show my sister this. It's so sweet that and I'm kind of like, I told you you'd be moved. It's different than I'm not saying he's a Swiftie, but I knew it would be an experience that he wouldn't roll his eyes at, because he can't, because they're filled with water. And so then, though, it doesn't stop there, because I didn't know that so much stuff comes out of just like
people are looking at TikTok for content to put on other platforms.
Yes,
it's like Reddit.
Desperate for press.
Everything comes from Reddit and TikTok now.
Yes,
almost nothing starts anywhere else.
No, it's. I was just reading the Martin Short autobiography, and this was in 2014, and he was talking about how his wife died, and David Letterman had found out about it like a day, hours after it happened. And Paul Schaefer called him and said, David Letterman wants to call you and talk and make a call to you. Is that cool? And he goes, oh, did you tell him? He goes, no, it's in the paper. And he goes, I forgot that things spread like wildfire on the internet. And this was 2014. He's saying like this, like because of social media, word gets out. And he was talking about even before social media, there had been a cancer scare with his wife, and it was in the National Enquirer, and no one found out about it, even though it was leaked in the paper, because no one read the National Enquirer. So it didn't spread, right? And there wasn't social media to just like clip it and retweet it.
You're loving that Martin Short book, aren't you?
Loving it. I finished it. I cried so much. I love Martin Short. He is my new obsession.
He's so funny.
I'm so excited to have someone who I haven't met yet, that when I get to meet him, I get to just like pour compliments into his head.
Well, he's going to pour compliments into yours, because I worked with him 2 years ago, I think, and he is a Nikki Glaser.
I remember you telling me this, and it was one of those moments where I had to kind of black it out and be like, I can't absorb this. That he knows who I am.
He knows who you are, and he was very complimentary about you.
Gift.
Yeah, he's amazing.
And
in person, he's even better. He's funny. he's funny in person, and he's like, everybody says he's the biggest pro in Hollywood.
Well, everyone knows that listens to the podcast. If you've listened recently, I'm obsessed with Jiminy Glick, and that's who Martin Short is. And so that's what's caused this like new obsession with him. And so I downloaded his book. I read it on the plane over, and then I just finished it last night. It made me cry. It made me laugh. It was just an amazing autobiography from someone who's been in the business. And the thing I like about Martin Short, that I know that I'm excited, like some celebrities I'm excited to meet, he loves performing. He loves being set up to do things. Like he would not mind if I said, will you just do Jiminy for a second? Like I know that he would actually he would probably enjoy
other people
that.
Would be like, I'm being put on the spot.
Yeah, or like even someone like me, I'm like, I don't want to do jokes right now. Like he's through and through a performer. His story is so insane. It's so interesting. His book, I must say, from 2014 is so good, and I really recommend it to people, even if they're just interested in just like a Hollywood story.
What are your recommendations for people that don't know about Martin Short and need to know?
Jiminy Glick, Conan O'Brien interview. Jiminy Glick, Jon Stewart interview. Jiminy Glick, Alec Baldwin. And those are my three that will get you started. They'll take 15 minutes of your life to watch all of those. And Bill Hader.
And the recent one, Bill Hader, Bill Maher one is good. And then
Sean Hayes.
Sean Hayes is really good.
Really good.
And then he also just Google Conan O'Brien, Martin Short.
Roasting.
Because basically he goes on Conan and tears Conan down.
So just type in Martin Short, Conan O'Brien roasting, and it's a compilation of all the times he's roasted him, not as Jiminy Glick, but as Martin Short. Man. We're going to go to break, and we're going to talk about another time where we made press this week unintentionally.
Yes.
We'll be right back after this. All right, we're back. Chris Convy, Nikki Glaser in Zurich in a hotel that I just looked. We're like so the town was sold out by the time we were getting hotel rooms.
Right.
And we were on the outskirts of the city. We're staying at a hotel.
This is the best hostel I've ever stayed in.
It's a hostel. Babe, look at this booklet that came with it. Read that.
Student Business Center.
Student Business Senior. And the tagline for this place is The Flag, a different place to live. That's
different.
It's literally true. It's just a different place.
Yeah.
It's different than the one you live in, but
Yeah.
it's not saying anything.
Not better.
You go down to the lobby and there's a review and it's framed because they're so proud of it. And it's a Yelp. They got a Yelp review of very good. And that's not something you frame.
No, you shouldn't.
That's
frame
something
that.
you tuck away and maybe you have on the corner of a window that's in the back of the building or something. Like
you don't
sticker.
even, if you're a place like this, you don't look at reviews. You just keep doing what you're doing.
You just put your head down.
You give
and
people
you go,
a safe place to lay their head at night.
place
A
to
different
stay.
place.
Do you know what else is a different place to stay? Sleeping on the street.
Everything's different.
Everything's different. So
Then another thing. Okay, so your dad went.
Dad went a little bit viral.
And then that's not it, right?
Then we made headlines. So my dad didn't make headlines. People weren't like EJ Glaser crying.
People didn't care.
What made headlines was, okay, Julia Roberts was spotted at the
London?
the
Dublin
show.
One of the
Stevie
Dublin
Nicks was
shows.
also there. And there was a video that came out of her kind of saying hi to Travis. Looked like for the first time they were meeting. And she kind of scratches his chest and is like, just rubbing on him like an older woman would do to like a young man of like, oh, I'm so happy for you. And there's been like lip sync people. This one incredible girl on TikTok and Instagram, she is a lip reader and she will do like celebrity lip reads. And she did his and pretty much, or this one, and she pretty much determined that Julia Roberts was saying, I'm so happy for you guys. I hope that's not too much to say. It was kind of like, I hope that that's okay for me to say. It was something like, it wasn't exactly that, but that's the vibe it was.
Right.
And it was sweet. It was whatever, But I saw this video and I remember thinking to myself when I watched it at night after I got home from the show and I'm looking through my feed and I'm seeing all this video come out. We're behind the tent, so we didn't see the celebrity tent and all the action. We were seated almost right behind it. But apparently in there, they taped this video of Julia Roberts doing this. And I thought to myself, my mom is going to have something funny to say about this. So I'll just film her reacting to this video because reaction videos are hilarious.
And your mom's hilarious.
And my mom's funny. And
She's
my mom...
We're on this trip right now. I've been with her for a day and a half.
She's cracking you up.
She's cracking everybody up.
She
She's
is...
cracking.
We got to tell the story about what she said at lunch today accidentally.
What did she say?
Oh, well, remind me.
Okay.
So I film her reacting to this Julia Roberts video. And she says it's gross what she's doing because she's kind of rubbing on his chest and stuff. And she's like, that's gross. And I didn't think anything of it. She just was like, I knew my mom would just have some crazy stance, like the kind of the way I do about things where I go, like, I just say something kind of outlandish that I don't really mean, but I'm just like kind of being hyperbolic.
Yeah, oh yeah.
For the sake of the people in the room and just, yeah. And so I put it on my story, thought nothing of it. And then the next day, press, like Us Weekly, Daily Mail, literally
People,
like
Page
Six. Yeah, it was every celebrity kind of news. I guess it was a slow day in the news. They picked up Nikki Glaser's mom says Julia Roberts is gross for touching Travis Kelce. And it was
Yeah.
like, that's not what was happening there. Like she did say that, but she wasn't saying
Fake
like,
news. But it was hilarious.
it was hilarious. So that's all that happened. All the comments were like kind of agreeing with my mom and thinking it was funny because it wasn't really about agreeing with my mom or not agreeing or whether or not Julia Roberts was gross. It was just because it was a funny older woman just watching a video and reacting. That was it.
Yeah. And it was like what she did. It's fine. It wasn't that bad, but it was worthy of being made fun of.
Exactly. And that's okay. And guess what? I do things that are worthy of being made fun of constantly. I've never told the story of meeting Travis Kelce the first time, but it was embarrassing. And if my mom would have watched it, she would have said, "Oh God, Nick," she would have said the same kind of
because you were
things.
like a bumble. Like this was.
I was a bumbling fool. Yeah, I was verklempt, as I think the Jewish people say.
I just certainly Mike Myers on Saturday Night Live.
That's all I know.
Yeah,
I think as Barbara Streisand.
No, he had a character, but it was he had Barbara Streisand on the show.
Oh,
it was a character.
God, isn't that weird? How my memory just
Coffee Talk with Linda,
and her nails were like butter.
Like everything was like butter. What was her name? Coffee Talk, Linda something. I'm gonna look.
So, my mom. We wake up and people are texting this to me, and my mom. I didn't even know about it. I go down to breakfast, which means it's like 1 a.m. our time, stateside. And we go down to breakfast, and my mom goes, Judy, or some woman in her life sent me something, and I keep clicking on it. It's some headline with us, but it sends me to this app. So whatever she was sent would go to an app. You know when you're sent a news article, and then it opens up that news article's app, like to go to the app store so you can read the article. We don't know this because my mom's friends deal in different
Right,
links.
yeah.
They're on deep Facebook. That's just deranged for people who are kind of elderly. So she was like, I can't open this Newsmax app to read the story. And I go, just Google Julia Roberts, because we saw the headline.
Right.
And it was like, all of these links. And we're like, oh my God. And my parents are like, what is this? My God. And they have still shots of my mom making a gross face. And she's like, oh God, what is this? She's a little bit embarrassed, but actually kind of I don't care. I felt it's fine, whatever. She's really cool about it because I would not have been as cool if someone misconstrued what I said and made it out to be like I was being mean when I really wasn't or whatever.
Right.
And so I was like, I just felt like it sounded kind of mean. And by the way, literally no one, 0 persons commented that my mom was out of line. 0. Only I did. I was like, this feels a little mean. So I jokingly said, Mom, I think you need to issue an apology to Julia Roberts, because we were also kind of joking about the fact that it had even gone viral.
Yeah, it's funny.
Issuing apology is something for people who are famous.
Yeah.
And my mom had just newly become famous that morning. So I'm like, I was being funny. So on my Instagram story, I'm like, Mom, you need to issue an apology. And my mom's like, I would like to apologize. I didn't mean gross. I just said that. She's not gross. It was gross. But so she's explaining it and she's like, I don't know. We love you, Julia. And then my mom said the funniest line. She goes, she's a good actress. Terrible flirt. Which is so funny. She's so my mom is so naturally funny. So then we put out that, and then there's headlines hours later at night. We get other headlines that are, Nikki Glaser's parents issue apology, whereas my dad said nothing.
Right.
And the whole thing. And so then I was like, oh my God, we should apologize for apologizing.
He apologized for being a huge pussy and crying.
He shut up. So we were just over in Europe. We're sending this to my sister. We're sending this to you. And we're being like, look at all these headlines. It was so funny. It was such a fun moment. But it just kind of showed me that you can just when you get to a certain level of fame, which I guess I am at right now, it won't be forever. It's just, and I'm not bragging about, it's nothing. It's just the roast
that's happening.
Turned things up a little bit for me that I didn't expect that anyone would write an article about something that I posted innocuously on my story.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason I even wanted to issue an apology, which was a joke, but also me being like, if she ever saw this, I want her to know we don't think she's gross. If there's a chance she'd see this.
Yeah.
I don't think like someone who is having their stories looked at by the press. I don't post like that.
No, you don't talk like it on the show.
No,
you don't.
I'm starting to have to.
Yeah. You don't do anything based on the idea that other people would listen to it and maybe
care.
Yes.
Care. And I
it's
don't
like that
even
Bowen
read
Yang, Tiffany,
Tina Fey
thing.
Yeah, where she said, Bowen, you don't get to have opinions about things anymore. That's the price you pay for celebrity, is once you're a celebrity, you don't get to not like things.
Because he's on podcasts being honest or, truthful about his opinions on other people's movies, people's relationships. They were intentionally critiquing things.
Yeah.
Probably in a catty way. But then those would get out there. Well, it's like that woman from The Bear who hosted SNL.
Yeah. I think we talked about it on the podcast, but yeah, she had said negative things about J-Lo in a podcast, and then she never thought she would host SNL.
And then all
J-Lo.
people pulled that audio, put it up, then J-Lo, she had to apologize to J-Lo.
Yes. And so I know I'll be haunted by things I've said, thinking I'd never be at that level where anyone would care. And it's already happening. So it's already gone. And that's what I learned from this, is that I have to not watch what I say, but just be mindful. And then also that if something does get taken out of context and blows up in a way I don't like, that it will go away very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
More quickly than you would ever think. I already knew it went away quickly from the rise of the fame of the roast. And for a couple days, I was just being recognized everywhere. And then now it's back to normal.
But people have said hi to you on the streets in Dublin and in Amsterdam.
Yeah, I've gotten recognized a couple times here. More times than I thought, for sure. And it was really nice and totally unexpected. And they're always so nice. And
people have been pretty friendly.
God, the best. So cool. And my mom was like, I love that people come up to you and just say, you're fucking funny. They'll say fucking because they know that's how you hang.
Yeah. It is funny that people match whoever they're talking to. They think they're like, oh, I'm going to be part of the.
Yeah.
Yeah. They might say something a little bit that feels like it's Nikki Glaser-ish.
Yes.
But that's not the only thing that happened. That got press, right?
Yeah. So this is what made me not panic last night. So I go to Taylor Swift in Amsterdam 3 nights in a row. The third night, my dad went again. So he went in Dublin and then he went with us to the third night. And I want to go back just a step and say that
I want to go back.
just a step and say.
That's not the song.
Well, that was my song.
Maybe that was
what's what I want to go
generational
back
for you and I. Eddie Money.
Oh, yeah, I don't know that. Those 3 years between us, betwixt us.
Those are the Eddie Money years.
Sometimes I feel so cool if I think about how I'm a freshman dating a senior.
Is that what you would be? I
When did you
graduated in
graduate?
2000.
Oh, okay.
Sophomore?
Okay, I'm a sophomore dating a senior, which
Okay.
is still real cool.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Look at you playing
We're
with
cool.
your hair.
You gave me your Letterman jacket. And all my friends are so jealous.
3-sport athlete.
And really, I probably just have daddy issues.
Captain of the rugby team.
No, I used to think that girls that dated seniors that were freshmen, like I sensed like there's a daddy issue thing going on here. When really
Even back then, you knew about that
There's a
stuff.
girl in my mind right now who I'm like, why is she dating this older guy? It's weird.
I don't think I heard the
and
word.
it wasn't weird.
It wasn't.
No.
Sophomore to senior?
14 to 17? All right. Whatever.
Whatever.
You notice I almost said 18, then I took it back
You-
because I don't want to be cool with that
You
because that's
didn't
going to be a headline tomorrow. Nikki's okay with statutory rape.
Oh, man.
And I didn't say that in third person.
And 14's a freshman.
Yeah.
Sophomore. No.
Oh, this girl I'm thinking about
14
was a
is eighth
freshman.
grade.
She was a freshman dating a senior.
I think you're 15.
Okay, 15 dating 17 and a half. Okay.
I don't know.
So on the second night of the show, so Amsterdam first night, the crowd was just a little bit not the same as the crowds I've witnessed the 12 times before that I was going. This is my 13th show. I kind of know what I'm talking about.
So the Dublin one was wild.
On par with everything.
Because the Irish people are like, they know how to party.
It was just easy breezy getting into the stadium. It was controlled. Everyone was dressed up like crazy. It was like,
How good are Irish people?
so good, so nice, so friendly. And so are the Dutch. I'm obsessed with the Dutch. I want to live in Amsterdam.
Yeah, it's a good vibe for you.
I love Amsterdam. I mark my words, I will live there in my life. And I told you this already. Like we have to go live
Yeah.
there for a couple months at least
Before
at
we're
some
old.
point. Before we're old, like old.
Mm-hmm.
And so and I said, so we have to find a time machine. And so second night in Amsterdam, I'm thinking my mom and I both commented the first night, that wasn't that like we wish the crowd would have been a bit better. It's
Because
just
you're used to people going crazy, crying, screaming lyrics.
yeah, and
dressed
everyone's
up.
dressed up, and this was like they would wear like the Dutch like they wear like I wear a Taylor Swift shirt, but that's it. I with my jeans and
Yes.
but that's fine, and that's what most people would do, right? But at this point, with the Eras tour being on for like a year plus,
Yeah.
people get the vibe of how you're supposed to dress
Yeah.
there, not how you're supposed to. There's no rules. It really is whatever you want. And I didn't mind that they were dressed as. I was like, oh, this is a vibe. But then the energy wasn't there. But I think it's because the Dutch they don't get too enthusiastic either way. And I like this about them.
They're an even keeled people.
They are even keeled. They are not, because I was going nuts and dancing and I did not feel judged. I didn't feel like they were like, this American is just acting a fool.
Yeah.
They were like, they liked it, and there was no like sense of disgust. So they don't go either way. They don't get overly enthusiastic and they
Right.
don't get judgmental either. And I like it.
Because you went to lunch one day, right?
Yes. I went to lunch many days. What happened?
No, you left. You had a story about
I
how
went
even keeled they are.
So I went to lunch one day with my parents in Amsterdam to this amazing place. God, Lavia, Lavia, I think is the name of it. It was this like vegetarian brunch spot. It was so good, right off the canals. We went there 2 days in a row, in fact. So the first day we went, we spent a good amount of money, like almost $200. I was going wild. I was like,
$200
we were so
brag.
hungry.
We talking euros?
We're talking euros. We spent a lot, okay? Maybe it wasn't that. It was probably like 100. I'm doing my classic Glaser exaggeration. So it was a lot. And we left, and I forgot to pay. We're down the street a half hour later shopping, and I go, oh my God, Dad, I forgot to pay. Because usually I'm paying card, but this place their machine was down. And so they were like cash, and then I just walked out without paying. And my mom goes, you need to go back there right now. They're going to call the cops, and they're going to come find us. And I go, I have a feeling they don't care. Not that they don't care we didn't pay, but
Yeah.
they don't care about the time of when I get back there to pay. So we took our time, and I dawdled back into the store, and I go, hey. And I walk up to the girl that was our waitress, who I didn't pay, who knew I didn't pay at this point. I knew she knew because we were, memorable.
Yeah.
We're American. We're loud. My volume can get a little much sometimes, and I have to temper it. it's embarrassing and I'm sorry to be American and be loud. Like I'm really trying to be a good American.
Yeah,
over
yeah.
here
Got to be a
instead
good
of-
American.
Totally. And so I'm Carrie rustling all over the place. So is that her show? The Americans?
Yes, the Americans.
I thought it was Good Americans for a second.
She was Russian in the show.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm
She's
trying to be
Russian
Khloe
spy.
Kardashian. That's her denim brand. Good American.
Good American?
Mhm. So I'm
Oh,
trying to
that's a
be
bummer.
Khloe Kardashian's jeans. So then I go in and it was as if she didn't know that I had forgotten. But then I go, hey, and she's like, hey. And I go, I forgot to make. She goes, you did. And I'm like, there was no like,
No emotion.
oh, you're back.
Yeah.
Like, and it was just, she was so nonplussed by it.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, plussed. Because I think nonplussed actually means you were like shocked. It means the opposite
Okay.
of what you think. So she was so stoic about it, did not seem to care at all. And I was like, oh my God, this is so the Dutch. They don't freak out about anything. In fact, the lines outside the first night of Eras Tour in Amsterdam were so long. And usually to get into Eras Tour, you can show up. She goes on at 7:15. You can show up at 7 o'clock and get in, no problem, find your seat and see her go on and open the show. No problem. But the lines were so backed up the first night. They fixed it the second and third night. I saw the first night and I go, Taylor will not have this happen again.
Oh,
And
that's a thing that she cares about?
Oh, she has her parents are walking around the arena and her dad is making sure things are going right. The sound's
You're
good.
kidding me.
He's on it. She has people that are making sure the audience is like feeling good and everything. Like they are so on it. And so I knew like this will not happen tomorrow. And it didn't happen the next two nights. But the line was so backed up. It was almost to the street. Like it was probably a quarter of a mile long line. And I'm not kidding you. When we walked up in Dublin at the same time, there was no line. So it was like, what's going on here? So, we got in and everything was fine. But when we were walking down, like, you're walking, trying to find the end of the line, walking past the line, in America, people would have been like, I paid thousands of dollars. Like, what's going on? Like, the show's about to start. These people did not. And I go, we're going to miss Lover. I was just kind of like already telling them like, this isn't good. Let's all unite. Like, this is BS. We didn't miss Lover. They were right to be, but no one seemed perturbed. No one was upset. They're not losing their marbles about stuff. They're not having anxiety. I bet they live longer than Americans.
They're one of the happiest countries in the world.
It shows. And so the first night I just thought, okay, that's just the Holland way of like, they're not going to lose their shit. They're having fun. They're singing all the lyrics. They know the stuff, but it just didn't feel, you didn't feel it in your bones. Like you feel it. Second night though, oh, it was bone rattling. Like something happened. So then second night, was amazing. And I'm going to tell you what happened where I went a little bit viral again, or I made the news after this break again.
Ooh, okay.
Because it happened after the third show.
Tease. They're going to hear a bunch of, what ads are they going to
You know
hear?
how I
Do
tease.
you know?
Oh my God.
So many ads. Oh God.
I can't even wait.
I'm
Wait
so
till
excited for
you
you
hear
guys.
about those promo codes. They're exciting. Unpredictable too. It might be my name. Who
Ooh.
knows? But how do you spell it? I don't know.
Nikki.
All right. We'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. So then the third night, again, just cacophonous, insane crowd, even better than the second
Yeah, you
night.
said it was amazing.
And Taylor even was like, guys, did you save your energy for the third show? So it was interesting to see.
Did she say that?
Yeah,
or-
she said that. She goes, don't tell the first two shows, but something is different this night. And it was. Third night was so amazing. And I was so happy because my dad was there and got to see it. And we were in a better spot than the first show he saw to see the screens. And
Why,
her
were you
screens are
guys
really
fighting?
beautiful. What?
You said
We
you
were in a better spot. Yeah, my dad emotionally and I, actually, we kind of were. I've had a couple moments on this trip when you're traveling with your parents and you're alone, you turn into a teenager again, where you're kind of a brat. And I've had to
absolutely.
apologize for some behavior.
You regress. So what was, how was it different having your dad there? Were you nervous? Are you able to just block? Because sometimes when you take somebody to a concert, you feel like you're responsible for their fun.
I think that I like to show off how much I love her and how much a part of my life she is, because my dad does understand, but I don't think he understands the extent of how happy she makes me. And I think I like to really exude that even more, that because I know it makes him happy to see me happy, and he maybe understands it more and isn't as a little like what's the word I'm looking for, where you kind of roll your eyes about it. Cynical about it. And I can see the sincerity that I have for it, because after the first show he was like, everyone knows all the words, and I'm like, I know all the words. Yes, everyone. Yeah. I'm not alone in this obsession.
Well, also, he might think what you're like, kind of maybe the most obsessed person with Taylor.
Yeah.
And then he gets there and he's like, oh, Nikki's just
many
normal.
women are
Within this
autistic.
context, this is the only context where
way.
my
Yeah.
daughter is completely normal.
Totally. And maybe that's why he was crying. He was like,
Yeah,
she's
it's
not
like-
special.
Yeah, or no,
We
she's
don't-
not weird.
Yeah, she's not weird.
She's not a lunatic.
Yeah, that could have
But he's a big music guy. He's a Beatles guy.
But he just, when he goes to concerts, he will just nod his head slowly and just like almost a bobblehead that is in a 0.2 tremor earthquake, just like very subtle, like someone shook a desk and walked by it, like just nodding his head gently at a raucous song, like he does, and which is weird because he's a musician. Dutch? He might be Dutch, man. It's like he was being so Dutch. So, and he split all the bills with me on all the meals. So he's going Dutch. So he it was nice to see him see.
Recently
Oh
here.
man, I'm trying. So then so the third show was crazy. We're leaving, and on the way out, we always leave. When I'm with my parents, we leave 2 songs early because they just want to get out and they want to be safe in a cab.
Your mom's a broken woman.
My mom's a broken woman, doesn't want to deal with crowds. And I've seen the show so many times, so I'm okay leaving for Mastermind and Karma. There's just 2 songs left. And although I had a feeling, I knew Travis was there, so she was going to do the famous, Karma is the guy on the Chiefs coming straight home to me.
Oh, he does that when he's there?
Yes.
Oh, that's kind of nice. Oh, you've got a Travis.
So this is what happened. So on the way out, I'm walking out, and we're going down these escalators to get to the exit. And all of a sudden I see this guy dressed in all white pants, white shirt, looking really like put together with like a greenish hat on. And I go, God, that looks like Travis. And he's kind of like not running, but walking at a fast clip. And I go, is that Travis? And I go, no, because it looks like someone who's dressed as Travis for the event.
Right.
And he has like a New Heights hat on his podcast. Like it looked like the hat that I have. That's a New Heights hat. So I go, that's not Travis. That's someone that's like dressed as Travis. And this is all within seconds because it's very quick. And then I go, oh my God, no, that is Travis, because there's a security guard with him. And I could see he's going back to meet her.
And you know him. You were on a TV
Yeah, I did a TV show with him. Like I've met him. He's said my name on his podcast. Like, so I was like, oh, that'd be, if I would have run into him, I don't even know if I would have been like, it's Nikki Glaser. Like I'm even annoyed at myself for even thinking that I would do that. So I might not have done that, but I didn't have the chance to because he was already below us going down the escalator that we were just now boarding on. So he was like, 1 level below, but it was enough for me to scream, we love you, Travis, which the Swifties do. We're obsessed with their relationship and we love how happy he makes her. And we had just seen it
That's
that night.
a real thing. Everybody's into Travis.
Oh my God, we're
He's
so
universally loved.
because she did 3 songs that night in her mashup that were, one was So High School, which is about him, and the other 2 were songs she's written previously, but we know that she put So High School in the middle of them to indicate that these 2 songs now gave a Travis vibe for her, and they're about growing old with someone and finding your person. And so we just know she's so in love. Like
Okay.
it's just so sweet, and so we love him, and I do love Travis. I met him. I admire that he went on stage and did that. Did the bit with her, and I thought he was so funny in it. And I think he's great. I just love him, and I hear he's good at football. I hear he's pretty darn good.
He's
I don't know the game much.
He's one of the best tight ends.
He's one of the best tight ends ever. No, I'm joking because I don't understand football exactly as much as I'd want to. But I did write you the other night to explain something to me.
Oh yeah, we haven't done that yet.
Let me just get really quickly. So I right after this happens, I go, let me just make a selfie. Maybe I'll put this on my Instagram story that we saw Travis. When I take selfie videos, I don't know, or like any kind of video, I don't know if I'm going to post it. I'm just like making content and we'll see if it sticks. So I took a video of like, we just saw Travis and I told the story. Then I sent it to Emily, my girl, being like, is this TikTok worthy? And I didn't even know she posted it on TikTok because I don't want to look. I don't want to see the comments. I don't want to see likes. I just want to and she posted on TikTok. And then yesterday we get to Zurich, and later in the night, I see an Us Weekly headline that says, Nikki Glaser was flustered seeing Travis Kelce at Taylor Swift show. Nikki Glaser, okay, Us Weekly, the caption, Nikki Glaser loves Travis Kelce and her reaction to running into him during the last night's Eras Tour show in Amsterdam is priceless. Read more at the link in bio. And I saw that, and you didn't know it because I just didn't want to make it a thing, but I was fucking panicking because I don't like people to try to insert themselves in Taylor Swift to get headlines.
Yeah.
And that is not what I was trying to do. I don't like when people talk about Taylor Swift so that they can get headlines. I've even accused some people of doing it in the past when I was wrong, and they weren't. It was the same thing that just happened to me. They're a true fan. They talk about her, but there are people that use her and for clips. If they know that if they mention her, they're going to get likes. I really promise you, I am not making Taylor Swift content for the likes. I'm doing it to supply Swifties with stuff that I think will interest them because I'm a Swiftie and I know what interests Swifties. In fact, when I tape at Eras Tour and I'm recording all of this footage, now I know why I'm going to so many shows. It's so I can make great footage because there are Swifties that have reached out to me that said, you have the best fan footage of Taylor Swift we have ever seen.
You're doing it for the
on
people.
my stories, and I get so much feedback. And I'm not saying I'm doing it all for them because obviously I'm having a fun time, but I am making amazing videos that are fun to watch if you're a Swiftie, captivating to watch, of parts of the show that have not been captured that I've seen in the ways that I'm capturing them. So I'm not just going in vain. I really am. I decided 3 shows ago that I was like, okay, Nikki, you don't get to enjoy this concert because you're actually going to document it for people. You need to spend time making these shots as beautiful as you can, making sure you're getting the right angles and
telling the story.
Yeah, and I really am trying to do that now, and it's diminishing my enjoyment of the show for it. I'm not saying that I'm a hero.
What a saint.
But I am saying I'm a saint.
Okay,
yeah.
Not a hero, but a saint.
I'm an anti-hero. So anyway, I read that headline, and in my soul, I was like freaking out because I'm like, I never want Taylor Swift to think that I am putting her boyfriend's name in something to try to get her attention. And I also hope that they don't think that I was saying like, I love you, Travis. Like, I love you.
Yeah, you weren't trying to get attention.
I was just saying, we love you, Travis, for him to know that Swifties are so happy they're in love. Like, not like, I just didn't want anyone to, I didn't want her. I was really thinking about her. No, I'm not even looking at it because it's none of my business. I just can't.
No, like when you said it.
No, everyone was just kind of, it was Holland, man. They didn't give a shit.
They don't care.
They literally did not give a shit. And so my parents are freaking out. They're like, I can't believe you just saw Travis. Because they barely saw it. They were like, I thought it was a big guy in a white outfit. So anyway, I was panicking in my heart. We went to dinner. I was kind of in a bad mood because I'm like, oh my God, people are going to think that I'm using her and she's going to think I'm using her to get headlines. She's never, ever going to want to even like know me or like, I'm just like a nuisance to her at this point, probably. And I should just shut the fuck up. And I can't believe this. And I was embarrassed. And then I remembered it's going to go away so fast. And no one's going to talk about it. And it doesn't matter. And only Us Weekly is going to post this and no one's going to see it.
No one's going to know. I
just forgave myself for it. I had a nice night and I tucked it away and I did not let it bother me. And because of what happened with my parents earlier, I was like, I'm just going to treat it like that and know that this is going to go away and that no one's going to pick it up and make it into something that's not.
Is it going to affect the way you do other things in the future so that you don't get called out for something like that?
I think it's smart. I think it's just going to make me more mindful about the things I say and to be more authentic in how I speak and think about like, if the person that I wouldn't want to see sees it, what do I want to see?
Right.
What do I want to say?
Them to, yeah.
And so it'll make me actually more authentic and not as like just going for
a laugh.
Yeah, or whatever. I think it actually is a good thing and it's going to make me just live my life more like without, I'm just going to be myself. But think about how I want to be myself. So actually it's calculated. I don't know. Final thought. What the hell does it mean? I was reading about NFL scoring because I really want to understand the game of football in a way that is like really, really in depth. Like I think I might want to take a course or something. I was looking up NFL scoring. I understand touchdowns. I understand field goals.
Can I interrupt?
Yeah.
Instead of that final thought, you had a Julie lunch story.
Oh, yeah.
Did you tell that one?
No, but today at lunch, we went to a place and we got there. We walk up and there's like a snooty guy at the front, like he's the host or whatever. Oh, and
God, I go, I
know your face during the story. So we walk up and I go, do you guys have, table for 4. And he goes, do you have a reservation? And I go, the place is literally empty.
Literally nobody else is there.
Dozens of tables. I'm talking like 24 tables empty.
The place is huge.
And I go, no, but do you think you can fit us in? As like a joke. I wasn't trying to be rude.
You're being folksy.
I was trying to be funny. I wasn't trying to be rude. I could understand how it could come off rude, but I go, no, we don't. But do you think you could fit us in? Like, I guess he didn't like it. I'm drinking a Starbucks. We look American. I'm sure he's just like, fuck these people. Who knows what happened in his day. So he sat us. we're sitting there, and I have my Starbucks cup on the table. By the way, I knew there was a part of my mind that was like, Nikki, or even though you don't need a drink, order one, because you don't want them to think that they're missing out on a sale because you brought in your dirty Starbucks cup. So I got a Coke Zero, even though I didn't want one. Then 10 minutes into our meal, my Starbucks cup has been on the table the whole time. It's full, by the way, and it's not a dirty looking one. It's clean looking. It's nice. It has a nice straw. Like I'm not like shaking the ice around and sucking on it and biting the straw like a heathen. He goes, ma'am, do you want me to throw this away for you? He's not our waiter, by the way. And I go, no, it's literally half full. It's a venti iced thing and it's half full. And he goes, do you want me to throw that away for you? And I go, oh no. I go, oh, sorry. I'll put it on the ground. He goes, yes, please. And I am like, and then my mom is raging. She goes, why did he make you do that? And I go, because it's just trashy looking and they want the tables to look. I mean, it bothered me, but I got it. You know, like I already felt ashamed by it when I walked in. So I kind of knew.
You knew.
So I put it down, no problem. And my mom is just incensed. And she's sitting, he's behind me at this point, but my mom is facing him and is just looking at him. And she goes, oh, I hate him. And she goes, my hatred for him, he's going to come all over my face. And we go, what? And she goes, he's going to come on my face. How I feel about him, he's going to come. I don't know why she chose to say it like that, but she didn't. Isn't that what she said?
Yeah, it was crazy.
She said, he's going to come on my face. And we go, what? And then she started laughing. And then she goes, or my food at this point, because I hate him so much. Or she goes, no, probably your food, Nikki. He's going to come in that. So she was hilarious. And that was that story. But
she just kept going back to it too. Let me see the picture that you took of my face.
I took a picture of you. You looking. Your face was so funny because you were just so disturbed by her comment in the perfect way. You look really handsome there.
She is such a delight.
Gold.
Yeah,
when we were in Amsterdam and my dad, we went to the Taylor Swift show the second night, or the first and second night. My mom and I went alone, and my dad hung back. We were there the first day and we're walking around the red light district and we were there the night before the first show. And my dad's like, I'll come back to here tomorrow. Maybe, step into one of these places. And my mom goes, you should. And I go, really? He should? And she was like, I don't care. And I go, yes, you do. And then today we were talking about it. And I guess my dad joked about it to you or something.
Yeah.
And I go, Chris, my mom literally was like, you should, EJ, get something. I don't care. And she goes, I didn't say that. I go, yes, you did. And I go, actually, you should pay me. I can see my mom being like, you should pay me.
Yeah.
So bottom line is I'm trying to figure out football and I don't know what a safety is. But now I realize it's when you get tackled in your own end zone.
In your own end zone, yeah.
Or you fumble the ball in your own end zone?
No, it would be a tackle or a fumble, either way.
So like when they hike the ball to the quarterback and he's going to throw it and then they tackle him, that would be a safety.
Yes, if he is not moving forward, he or a running back is moving backward or has just moved backwards, and they have not made enough progress in the field of play, then yes.
Past the field of play.
So if you go past the line, if you go past the end zone or even the line of scrimmage, and somebody pushes you back, that's not a safety. Because a forward progress is a big deal.
Because you did go forward a little bit.
But if somebody gets, if they hike the ball to the quarterback, he's already in the end zone and he gets tackled in there, or the running back, whatever it is, the tight end. That'd be a safety.
Not Travis Kelce, because he would never get tackled.
He would never.
What is it called? Get a safety? He would never get, like, if Tom Brady got tackled in the end zone.
For a safety.
He got for a safety?
No,
How would you say it?
Well, you wouldn't say tackled for a safety.
What would you say? Like, there was a safety. Like, what? How do you say it? Like, because it doesn't make sense. Because I know there's also a position called the safety.
Yes, yeah, that's.
So how would you say if like they got a safety?
That's
the other team. Like, what? How do you use the word safety?
Yeah, that's a safety.
Hey,
Bob.
But so
there's been a safety on the play.
Yeah. Oh, it's a safety. You would say that at a party?
Yeah.
To your friend?
Oh, yeah. Safety.
Nachos?
Yeah, if you're eating nachos with the guys, my guys.
And you go, safety.
Yeah.
Could you just say safety?
That's a safety. Yeah.
That's a safety.
Or you just be like, yeah, safety.
Okay, safety's starting to sound like one of those words that doesn't make sense anymore because we've said it so much. So
safety.
I'm going to safely get us out of this. Thank you for listening to the podcast. We will be back next week in studio with Brian Frangie. Oh, he wasn't on the show today because we have a bad connection in this hostel in Zurich, but he will be back with us on Tuesday next week. So thank you so much for listening. Hope you guys are having a great summer. Dates coming up include Charlotte this Friday. That's tomorrow in Charlotte. And then on Saturday, I'm going to be in Hyannis, Massachusetts. I'm going to be in Charlotte on Saturday. I'll be in Hyannis, Massachusetts on Sunday. And then the following week, I will be in Vegas at the Venetian with David Spade. Friday and Saturday. Amazing shows. Those will sell out, but you could plan a trip last minute right now and get tickets and go. And then the following week, I'm going to be somewhere. Oh, maybe nowhere.
Ooh,
I think I'm off that week.
Something.
Oh, we should do something.
Oh, we're going to do
safety.
Get it?
Thanks for listening, guys. Don't be good. Bye.